We basically were losing many opportunities. Scaling rapidly is always a big challenge.
The voices who were most skeptical at the beginning of the process was probably me.
33% of customers reactivated the plans, which is huge.
From an engineering perspective, I wouldn't look anywhere else, specifically for React.
My name is Arthur. I'm currently a senior engineering manager at Voi. I've been working in the company for 2 years, currently leading the whole growth engineering organization of the company. Before working with the ReactSquad, we were going through a rapid scale. So we were scaling the business a lot, like growing tremendously as a company. And our hiring process wasn't catching up with the scale, which can happen many times to many companies. And there was a lot to be done on our roadmap, a lot of critical bets for the company to be stuck into. And we needed to progress quickly with the roadmap while we still were improving our hiring pipelines. So this was the main starting point, and that's where we got to start working with ReactSquad.
Hi there. I'm Tommy Lewis. I'm the Director of Engineering here at Voi. So the starting point of working with the ReactSquad was early on in a project. We were scaling our company at quite a high rate, and we were struggling to find good engineers at the rate we needed to be able to scale our organization. The pain points we had were specifically around code quality and making sure that we were delivering a high quality deliverable to our patients. Then we got in contact with ReactSquad, and you set us up with a great team of people who were able to jump in straight away to the problem and take strong ownership and fix a lot of the problems that we had as we were scaling.
For the business, what it meant is that we basically were losing many opportunities. So like scaling rapidly is always a big challenge, especially when you're a high competitive market like health tech. We have many different services that we provide: weight loss, hair loss, TRT. And when you have like limited capacity, you need to always make trade-offs and have a clear focus. So not having the actual capacity to tackle everything that we needed to tackle at that moment will ultimately mean that we are losing a lot of opportunities in the market and to win the market as well.
The situation we had at the time is that there wasn't a strong amount of ownership. This part of the business that wasn't getting the attention that we needed it to. So the consequences of that obviously were missed opportunities in terms of innovation and of revenue.
Personally, always very hard because you also want to win, especially in growth engineering. Our success is always, of course, based on how we hit our targets, how we grow as a company, but also how much we are learning. And a big part of not being able to tackle and at least work on many opportunities that we are learning less. And in growth engineering, we always want to build to learn and then build to last, ultimately. So it makes us feeling, okay, we're losing opportunities, we need to move faster. Like there's a lot of things for us to do now.
I'll be honest how I felt at the time. It was a very busy time, like working in a hyper-growth startup and lots of things going on. I was very much looking for a partner who I could work with, who would understand my problems, who was proactive and was excited to help out. And yeah, it definitely, once we started working together, decreased my stress levels by a non-significant margin.
Before starting working with the ReactSquad, I have, of course, like some concerns. To be very honest, my previous experiences working with like external agencies and those consultants were not actually very good. So I was very skeptical at the beginning, but with time, the guys proved me wrong. I think one of the good things that helps is that before starting the collaboration, we could talk to our engineers that will be likely to assign to us so we can meet them, do a quick catch up, like a mini interview, which also like you get to meet the people, right? And they not just be assigned to their team. So this also brought more confidence to start working together.
I'll be honest, from my perspective, I haven't worked with contractors a lot before, and a lot of the past experiences I've had was with larger agencies where it was very transactional. Those were some of the hesitations I had going into this, and especially when trying to decide which partner we were going to be working with. I think what stuck out about the ReactSquad is that you were very proactive in listening to our problems, and it didn't feel like a traditional client relationship. You were very much integrated into our team and into how we worked, and really did play on our side and was one team, one fight. And I think that really honestly has changed my perception of what a typical contracting relationship can be.
Before working with ReactSquad, like we try to solve hiring for job boards, LinkedIn, trying to improve our job postings, our job descriptions, hiring external agencies across like many different agencies in Brazil, UK, Bulgaria to try to fulfill this need. But in the end, like we started working with ReactSquad.
We were hiring and trying to get people in. Most people are familiar that even if you have the best hiring pipeline in the world, people have notice periods. People might want to even go on holiday in between jobs. There's nothing wrong with that. So the lead time from even signing the contract with a great candidate can be up to 3 months. And we had more urgency than that. Other things we tried was obviously reallocating people and stretching people. But the real impact is that we had to make hard priority calls. And for that time, it was an area of the business that we didn't want to deprioritize, but we had to. And what we were able to do as working with the React Squad is have our cake and eat it, so to say. So to be able to prioritize both things that we really wanted to do.
We worked together with the ReactSquad in the company for almost a year now. Initially, there was two different situations that the team helped us filling. The first one, we got a team to handle one of the most important products in the company that is our hair loss treatments. And another part of the team to support a new proposition, mixes some internal teams, which I was in charge of the latter, the new proposition that was launching weight loss in Brazil.
We chose to work with the React Squad because you stuck out as the most invested and bought into what we were doing. We interviewed many of your team and we had really good impressions from a lot of them. Also, we felt that you were a partner that would be able to deliver what we needed.
So the collaboration was really straightforward. Like the engineers, they are very responsive, they're on top of things. They will attend all the dailies, all the team ceremonies, just as they are part of the team, like as they always there. So collaboration was smooth, like they are great people apart from also the tech aspect. So everything that we were needing to tackle, the roadmap and our huge list of technical debts, these were the main things that we also helped. Like our list of technical debts were cleaned up in a few months.
So the roles that the React Squad filled was for our hair loss team. So we actually ended up having the entire React Squad team come in and fill the role of that team. I think that approach worked really well rather than individually having certain people coming into different teams, because that meant the team already knew each other, they had good working relationships and they could take strong ownership over the entire area, which I think turned out to be a good approach. The React Squad were very, very quick from us agreeing and talking with each other to them being involved and adding value. I think it might have been a week at max, but you were very proactive and quick and accommodating.
I think internally there will always be like some biases with working with agencies, working with external consultants, because it can be that this type of collaboration is more like task takers, like you need to always be separating everything that this person, the external person will be doing, and then ensuring that everything is well organized. Of course, this is very important to the success of everyone. So I think always it needed a bit of adjusting of collaboration from all sides who work, from product, the business managers, also from me. So working with people that don't have much context and they are new will always be challenged, right? Especially if you're not a fast-moving company. So it was very important to ensure that the React Squad engineers, they were embedded into the team, to the product development process, just like any other engineer. I think that's how you get the best of them. Don't treat them just as externals. Treat them as like internal engineers. Like you need to onboard them, you need to understand the context so they can also perform their best.
I believe the collaboration was very strong in the sense that I felt like I had good regular updates of the work that was happening. I think that the team themselves got stuck in and worked cross-functionally with other teams that we had within our organization. And what work did I have off my plate? Well, I didn't have to be on the ground worrying about that situation as much as I was previously. And I had the trust that we had a good team there that would solve the problems that needed to be solved. And they were quite complex problems as well. So very much glad that I didn't have to think about that.
When I actually looked back and I thought, okay, this is working on Weight Loss Brazil, like during the first month or so, like we were seeing a lot of progress because we were being able to tackle many different initiatives. So it was like a pre-part market fit initiative. So we needed to move really fast and we need to experiment and learn from many different things. So I think the first signal was like when we would be able to work on 4 different initiatives in the same time with the team, like each engineer responsible for each one of them. And I think the ultimate moment that I looked back and I saw, okay, this was great, was when we were ending the period with this specific team. I did a quick retro with everyone and we actually cleaned all of our like fixes, bugs, improvements that were in the backlog for ages. Everything was cleaned and most of, like I say, 90% of these things were done with the React Squad.
I'll be honest, in terms of the voices who were most skeptical at the beginning of the process was probably me. As I said previously, I had a couple of wrong preconceptions about the quality of work that we would get and the level of engagement that we would have from the team, as well as in terms of other people who may have had some reservations. I think generally some of the other engineers possibly were a bit cautious about bringing people in, even though they were generally very accepting and embraced people once they were in. Obviously, we will have to have a discussion sometimes with our finance department about when is it the right time to invest in additional help. But we found that the conversation was fairly easy to have with them because of the flexibility of the contracts that ReactSquad offers and the good working relationship and candor that the team has.
I think the single most valuable thing that ReactSquad did, especially during the first section of this year and the end of last year, we were managed to achieve great results and targets for the Brazilian hair loss service because we were without proper capacity and attention for a while on this part of the company. And we had like huge impacts on our roadmap that everyone was very happy about it.
I think it was fairly early on that I felt fairly clear that we had made a good decision and that the ReactSquad and our relationship was working. A highlight for me of our working relationship together was when we had a serious production issue that was affecting many of our patients, and a typical team, possibly in any organization, might have clocked off. Maybe they'll spend an extra hour on it after work and then maybe they'll go and come back to it in the morning. But the level of investigation and dedication and ownership that the ReactSquad offered in terms of fixing this issue was very high. They would not let it go until it was resolved, which I think was once again a really good demonstration of their ownership. And then finally, as part of our post-mortem process, they were present and took everybody through the way that they had resolved it, the learnings that they had taken from it, and also made it fun and approachable for all of the engineers who attended as well, which was all added. It was not expected or required in the contract. This was really around integration into our culture and being a team player.
One thing that surprised me about the collaboration, I was definitely not expecting, was that the engineers, they were bringing improvement ideas. So it's not very common from external agencies. Like, they may give you some tips and some nudges here and there, but they were actively bringing like ideas for SEO, for web performance, proactively refactoring some of their stuff, and which I mentioned, like, normally is not the type of thing you expect from this collaboration. It was really useful.
It will be hard for me to pinpoint any one individual aspect that was very valuable because the ReactSquad worked with us for such an extended period of time. It would be unfair of me to choose one individual thing. There was one that sticks out to my mind in particular around a new way that we wanted to experiment with our pricing configurations. And there was a high degree of complexity around how this was currently implemented on our platform. And the ReactSquad managed to cut through and make it work, even though we were uncertain if we would be able to do it ourselves. So I think in terms of highlights and real problems that the team solved, that sticks out to me.
The biggest impact on the product roadmap since the ReactSquad started collaborating with us were a full revamp on a reactivation flow for the Brazilian hair loss service, which was actually one of the most impactful initiatives we had on the category for a long time. We had an increase of 33% of customers reactivated the plans, which is huge.
The biggest impact on our product roadmap has been progression. We were faced with a situation where we would either not progress on our product roadmap or we would. So by having the ReactSquad as part of our team, we have been able to make progress that we just wouldn't have been able to make otherwise. I think that is the key thing, is that momentum and pushing forwards is so key in a competitive business environment. Yeah, that's the biggest impact that we can make, is by continuing and moving forward.
The value that we got relative to what we paid definitely paid off. Like, we were able to make such progress on a lot of initiatives on Brazil, UK, referrals, reactivations. And this was very important because we were also maturing our hiring process. Like, we were trying to accommodate scale, so we needed to learn ourselves, like, okay, how do we improve our hiring? How do we improve the overall speed of the hiring process? But this didn't mean that we lost speed on execution. So definitely paid off.
As an engineer, I always think that we and what we do for organizations, especially tech leading organizations, is create the value. And you can't really put too much of a price on innovation and making sure that we are progressing with our company values, our company ideals, and our mission. So in terms of the value exchange, I think you get what you pay for. So if you want to go forward with your company values and missions and your product roadmap, but you want to do it on the cheap, or you want to cut corners, then you won't have a successful outcome as if you properly take the time, find really good quality partners to work with, and invest in making that as big a success as possible, because then you always are going to maximize your upside.
The engineers that were working with us, they were great. Like, I will definitely give an extra shout out to Aiken and Abby. Those guys are stars. Like, they were very responsive, great technically, always there to jump in when we had problems. We were able to pair them not only like without proper product managers and project managers, like here's the SEO team, like they really need some help, like, and they were pairing, giving constant updates and actually achieving a lot of things. Yeah, great.
The engineers that ReactSquad paired with us and made our team were proactive. They tackled problems and pushed to find solutions multiple times. They communicated well and they integrated into our higher culture and our team dynamics well.
I think this collaboration makes a lot of sense if you're looking to progress with a roadmap, you're feeling that time is against you, you're not able because of capacity constraints, definitely look for it. Like, the guys are really faster to onboard themselves and to catch up with everything that is going, so definitely will work.
The reason ReactSquad was a good fit for us is that we were in a high growth environment where we needed the extra support to be able to achieve our goals in the time that we wanted to achieve them. So any organization that finds themselves in a similar stage of rapid growth, rapid hiring, and maybe not finding the hiring loop is as quick as they would like, I think that would be a good reason to choose to work with the ReactSquad. I think also for companies that need expertise or need a guiding hand on how to do something, maybe you don't have a ReactSquad of your own and you would like to get one, I think it would also be a good reason to reach out to the ReactSquad as well.
Internally using the ReactSquad as a ninja emoji. They are really fast, really good, and will solve your problems.
I would absolutely work with the ReactSquad again. Everything that they have done up until now has been very good and they have fitted into our culture very well. If I needed additional help from an engineering perspective, I wouldn't look anywhere else, specifically for React.
I will definitely work with the ReactSquad again. We've been able to achieve so much together. Like, everyone was such great people to work with, very responsive. Even we had incidents, we had problems. Even we had, like, for example, post-mortem processes. They were also present on the reviews and presenting things. So they never felt like external engineers, like external agents of the company, but a part of the team.
I would say to somebody who is considering working with the ReactSquad, but it might be on the fence, is chat to the team. Chat to Jan, chat to the team members that he talks to, and treat it like your normal hiring process. You can make a decision whenever you're talking or hiring somebody or whether to progress or not. I think you'll be surprised at the quality and expertise that you have found there. So yes, that's what I would do, as I would talk to you.
I'd say do it.